back to my channel. My name is Rishika and this channel is about the training and job of a cabin attendant. So the people who are watching my video for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss any of my videos. So today I am going to tell you about some emergencies that you might face on board whenever you are flying as a cabin attendant. So it is a very useful video and you would get a lot of information in this video, so please just make sure that you watch this video till the end, because in the end it will be really very interesting for you to know. And let's get started. So first of all, I would like to tell you about the medical emergency on board. So anybody present on board, be it your fellow crew members or be it your captain or maybe your first officer or maybe the passengers on board, anybody can face any kind of medical emergency at any point of time. You never know that what would happen next. So that's why we are always told that we need to be prepared for any kind of emergency, be it a medical emergency or any other emergency, but we need to be always prepared for that. So there might be any kind of emergency like chest pain, heart attack, cardiac arrest, or maybe severe bleeding, or maybe you have a pregnant lady on board and she gets the labor pain. And there have been cases wherein the cabin crew members have delivered a baby on board. So you might face a situation like that also. Other than that, maybe fever or severe earache or nose bleeding or anything of that sort, right? So you need to be very, very patient and calm in order to, face all these things and in order to handle these kind of situations. So I have been experienced so many things related to medical emergency, if I would say. So I would just share one of my experience, and that is, there was a male passenger of middle age. We were traveling from Jaipur to Hyderabad, and he was complaining for chest pain, and he was saying that he's unable to breathe properly. So it was like me and my R2, we both were standing in the galley and we were doing our job, our work, whatever we had to do, and we were busy doing that, and suddenly that passenger came to me, and I was not facing towards him. I was doing my work. I didn't know that somebody has came and he is holding me. So he just came and he held on my shoulder, and as soon as he could say something, he was about to fall on the ground. So I didn't know what to do, so I shouted and I told my fellow crew member that please hold this passenger, please hold him, because he was about to fall on the floor. So we somehow managed to hold him, and then we made him lie on the floor, and we just checked his pulse and everything. He was conscious, so we asked him that what happened, sir, what is the issue, what problem are you facing? So he said, I am having a kind of chest pain and I'm feeling difficulty while breathing. So we checked his pulse and everything, and we did our primary survey, secondary survey and everything, but we didn't find anything of that sort. Everything was good, everything was perfect. His pulse rate was little disturbed, but everything was good other than that. So then we didn't know that what would be the reason for chest pain. So we made him lie on the seats. There were 3 seats vacant on the last row of the seats, passenger seats. So we made him rest on those seats, and we told him that have you eaten something, or like whatever we have to do. We did all our procedures, and then we got to know that there was nothing of that sort. He wasn't facing any difficulties in all of those things. It was just that he got a panic attack. I don't know why, out of nowhere, he got scared. He got afraid of being there on flight, of flying on on an airplane. So he just got scared and he got a panic attack. That's why he started saying that I'm not feeling well and I'm having a chest pain and all of those things. So there are some situations like that wherein you have to act smartly, and first of all you need to be really very patient and calm. Only then you would be able to face such challenges. Otherwise it would be really very difficult for you to handle such kind of situation. So we experienced this mid-air when we were cruising. So you can imagine that what would be the situation. If there have been something serious, then we could have diverted the flight, or maybe we could have done an emergency landing, or maybe like if there would be a need of that sort, then we could have done and we could have taken any step of anything of that sort, because you never know that a death on board will make you feel so bad, and that will make you feel that all your efforts, all your learnings, all your education was in vain, and that's why you couldn't save the life of a passenger. So you know that it's very difficult to live with that guilt that you could not save the life of someone. So other than the medical emergencies, we also get to face the other emergencies that may occur due to the technical problem, some technical glitch in the aircraft, in the engines, on the wings, or anything, any other part of the aircraft. So if there is such emergency, what would we do? There might be a situation that we have to crash land. That means an emergency landing, not on the runway but on the other land. जो भी खाली लैंड हमें दिखता है कहीं पर, जो नियरेस्ट हमें ऐसा लगे कि हाँ हम यहाँ पर लैंड कर सकते हैं, जहाँ पर दूसरे लोग अफेक्ट नहीं होंगे, जहाँ पे कोई लोग रह नहीं रहे होंगे पहले से, उस जगह पर हम क्रैश लैंड कर सकते हैं.
The captain pulls up the nose and tries to climb. The brutal impact has torn the tail off the body of the plane. An engine is burning. If fire spreads to the fuel tanks, the plane could explode.
Let's see if we can open this door.
But getting down to the ground will not be easy.
Other than that, if we are flying over water bodies, तो हम अगर sea या rivers के ऊपर से हम fly कर रहे हैं और उस point पे ही कुछ ऐसा हो जाए, कुछ भी गलत हो जाए कि we have to land immediately on water. So that is called ditching, and we have to be prepared for those situations.
Got no power in either one. Try the other one. Try the other one.
49? Terrain. Still out?
150 knots.
Terrain.
Got flaps 2. You want more?
No, let's stay at 2.
You got runway 29 available at Newark. It'll be 2 o'clock at 7 miles.
You got any ideas?
Caution. Terrain.
Actually, not.
Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
We're gonna brace.
Pull up. Good. Pull up. Pull up.
And as I would say that we first become a first aider and only then we get to become a flight attendant. Similarly, we have to be well trained for all these emergency procedures, and only then we get to become a cabin attendant. So it's not like getting selected in an interview of a cabin attendant and you would get your wings to fly. It's not like that. You will have to face so many challenges. You will have to go through very nice training, and only then if you pass all those training procedures and if you pass all those exams with 90% of marks, only then you would get your wings to fly. So, because it is really a very responsible job, very important job, because when it comes to safety, nobody would compromise on safety. Be it an airline, be it your captain, be it your first officer, be it your lead cabin attendant, anybody. Nobody would compromise on that. So you must be pro on all these procedures. Pro as in you must be knowing every single thing related to that, and you must have no confusion about all these things.